Good morning. My name is Alex Jankowski, and today I wanted to talk about something that affects basically everyone in the summer. It's airline prices. If you're going away or you're traveling to visit family, this will affect you. My source is the Washington Post article that was posted July 7th. It's called Airline Fuel Costs Have Nearly Doubled in the Past Year by reporter Todd Frankel. It's the biggest part of the story is basically how the prices have increased due to the war and on the other side of the world, and that's why it's costing you money just to book a flight. So, in a short version, late in February, the US and Israel launched an attack on Iran, and Iran effectively shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is a narrow waterway that carries 1/5 of the world's oil, which is a large percentage, 20%, just from one strait. This exploded oil and fuel prices, um, and because of that, the jet fuel that flights use had doubled in price in just a few weeks. Airlines can't absorb that cost without losing all their profit, so they had to increase ticket prices, baggage fees, cut back on flights just to control how much fuel they were using. Because flights cost how much they do, the two biggest costs for the airline are paying employees and paying for fuel. And because one of their two biggest expenses doubled in the past few weeks, they had to jack up their prices. So, according to the Post, American Airlines spent around $6.6 billion on jet fuel in May alone. That's just in 1 month. And that nearly doubles what they spent the same month last year. So, to put that in perspective, they usually spend $6.6 billion, um, or they usually spend 3.3, sorry. And basically, in 1 month, they spent double their annual budget. When you go over a budget like that, you need to make up for it by cutting corners or increasing prices, and that's what had to be done. A jump like that hits their bottom and makes them increase prices because they can't just lay off mass employees to cut those prices down. So, here's where it gets interesting. Because since the price in April, fuel prices have actually dropped down by 40%. So they went up by 100, but they dropped back down by 40. So they've fallen quite a bit, but the actual price of airfares have only dropped around 15 to 20%. So airlines are using this fact that people have gotten used to higher prices to keep those prices slightly higher to actually get money back. And this is where the ethical question comes in. So this connects directly to chapter one, where economics and business operate in. Jet fuel is just a factor of production for airlines and is a basic input in what they produce. Obviously, the product is their flight, and jet fuel is their input. When their input goes up, the cost of the product goes up as well and shifts the whole supply curve and demand curve upwards. This also makes their equilibrium price go up due to that cross coming in at a higher cost. But when people actually pay and move it up, the airlines tend to keep that equilibrium price higher so that they can capitalize on it. But the second layer comes in here is chapter two, where business ethics and social responsibility comes in. Airlines raising their prices because the cost went up is perfectly fine. But the part that gets questionable is what happens when the cost comes back down. Delta CEO actually said that their fares are at the right level, even with meaningfully lower fuel costs. So instead of bringing their fuel costs down or the flight costs down with the fuel prices, they're actually keeping it higher to capitalize on it, which isn't illegal because they can make their own prices. But the real ethical question comes in about if a business has the responsibility to the people who are paying and being transparent about where their costs are instead of just saying that the prices are still high. So this is the article in a nutshell, that the war overseas is actually costing airlines and making airlines put up their prices and making travelers pay those increases in price, even after the cost of fuel has come down a marginal amount that could actually benefit most travelers. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have.